All right, broski, it's T-Man, and I'm back with a new video, bro. And I'm going to do a Q&A. I guess I'm going to do an educational video. And so this guy writes me sometimes on my channel. His name is broman4025. I posted some of his videos. He does some eccentric exercise now in his videos, but the eccentric exercise that he's doing are accentuated eccentric exercise. They're not eccentric. I wouldn't consider them eccentric overload exercises. So, there are three ways of getting this. So he writes here. He writes in the comment section. In my community section, he wrote on one of my things here, one of my posts. He says most of lifters stuck on that 12 to 6 month newbie gain area, no further growth. No, bro, they didn't get any growth after 6 or 12 months. They got those newbie gains in the first weeks, and then it ended. You understand me? Those newbie gains they got ended. I'm not joking. And they became concentric lifters, conventional concentric lifters. That's what they became. They became comfortable. You understand me? That's how the physical world works. You have to understand how the physical world works, not the fake bodybuilding world. How does a human body work? How do these adaptations work? You need to figure it out. Not everything works the way you want it to work. It works the way it works. Get it, dude? So, then you say, then they began the phase of getting fat and cutting and pretending they built something, and all they do is covering those newbie gains with fat and cutting it later like a hamster running on a wheel. Yes, I would agree with you. Yes, definitely. They became exercise slaves, and I don't like exercise. I don't do exercise, dude. I don't go to gyms to exercise. You understand me? I just go there to do one thing, build muscle. That's it. So what I wrote you here was newbie gains happen in the first few weeks of lifting, then ends because you adapted to the eccentric full range of motion. You did. You did. And then I wrote you here to give you a better explanation. I took this out of NCBI. A second period of exercise a week after the first produces much less damage. Why is that? This is a result of the adaptation process. One proposed mechanism for the adaptation is an increase in sarcomere number and muscle fibers. They became stronger. Now they're protecting you, just like a broken bone. When you break it, it remodels itself bigger and stronger. It never breaks in that area again. That area will never break again or ever get damaged. And so I wrote here, and your full range of motion eccentric is too light, and you're not overworking it with full range enough to even get a new adaptation because you stopped adding what? Sets. You have to add multiple sets because it's based on overworking that muscle, and are stuck on frivolous exercise, doing the same stuff over and over. Yeah, dude. I'm not joking. And then I wrote you a third time here. There are three ways to get damaged: overworking muscle in full range, adding multiple sets. Listen to the word, overworking that muscle with that range. But the problem is, eventually you run out. You need to get the deeper, weaker ones. Then there is eccentric overload, max effort, full range motion, partial range of motion, muscle sets, reps, and then there's just eccentric, reserved for busting plateaus or trying to assist or eke out a few more reps. That's what you're doing. You're assisting. You're doing just eccentrics without any concentric, and we don't do that. We still do. We initiate with the concentric. We always do. We always initiate with concentric, but we follow through with the eccentric because it's a lot heavier. We are lifting super heavy. You understand me? We can't make it for a full range of motion. And even if we could, we'd damage ourselves. We would cripple ourselves, dude. We wouldn't make it. I'm not joking. So I'm gonna copy this and I'll put it in the community section. I'll show you here. Look, you can read this if you don't believe me. Muscle damage from eccentric exercise, mechanisms, mechanical signs, adaptation, and clinical applications. I talked about this well over 8 years ago on my old channel. It tells you right in the beginning of the abstract. It tells you right here, bro, right here. A unique feature of eccentric exercise is that untrained subjects become stiff and sore the day afterwards because of damage to muscle fibers. Yes, that's the adaptation process. Get it? This review considers two possible initial events as responsible for subsequent damage to the excitation, contraction coupling system, disruption of the level of the sarcomeres. Other changes seen after eccentric exercise: a fall in active tension, shift in optimal length in active tension, a rise in passive tension are seen. On balance of favor sarcomere disruption as a starting point for damage. Okay, as well as damage to muscle fibers. There's evidence of disruption muscle sense organs and or perception, whatever, proprioception. So this is where it really starts. A second period, listen to what they say, a second period. Now, remember, a unique feature was that you got damaged when you came in. Now, here's the second period of exercise a week after the first, where you're still doing the same exercises. Get it? Get it, dude? And now your muscles are stronger. They're every time they remodel, they get stronger. They get stronger. They become resilient from getting damaged and growing more of them and getting bigger and stronger. That's what you're not visualizing. Get it? When you break a bone and it remodels, it will never break in that spot again. Get it? Because it's stronger. Okay, because it remodeled there, bigger and stronger. A week after, so a second period exercise a week after the first produces much less damage. Why is that? Why does it produce much less damage? Even though you may even lift a little bit heavier, you come in the second week, you lift a little bit heavier, right? After your muscles repaired and remodeled, you came in the second week because you're really sore. You couldn't come in that whole week because your body's growing, it's repairing and remodeling. This is the result of an adaptation process. An adaptation process. What is this adaptation process? This one proposed mechanism for the this is just one proposed. I already told you the other propositions. Get it? It was because you have to overwork that muscle, still doing those full range of motion, or you do eccentric overload, or you just do eccentrics. This is the result of an adaptation process. One proposed mechanism for this adaptation is an increase in what? Sarcomere number in muscle fibers. So when you grow muscles, your muscle becomes resilient. Like I said in all my videos, it becomes resistant from further assaults, like it says in PubMed and CBI. It tells you it becomes resistant from further assaults. I don't know if I can look that up for you right now. So this leads to a secondary shift to muscles, optimum length of active, whatever. Okay, so you get the idea, dude. Anyways. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can find it. I don't know if I can find it. Sometimes I can remember it, sometimes I can't. Maybe it's this one right here. I think it's this one. All right, so exercise-induced muscle damage and adaptation. So when you scroll down here at the bottom, it should tell you here somewhere. These regenerated fibers, along with adaptations in the connective tissue, may provide what? Greater resistance to further assault. See what I mean? That's why it's difficult to build muscle. See what I mean? Because there's morphological alterations. Listen to what they say here. Following a second bout of exercise performed 1 to 6 weeks after the first bout, there is a reduction in morphological adaptations. There is, but you got them in the beginning. Morphological performance decrements, profoundly reduced elevation, CK, Stress susceptible fibers may be eliminated, or susceptible areas with a fiber may undergo necrosis and then regenerate. It does. It goes through necrosis, it regenerates, and then it becomes stronger. It's resistant from further assaults by your exercises. So what do you have to do? You have to lift heavier and heavier all the time. You have to add more sets, or lift heavier and add more sets. You have to overwork that muscle to get it to damage. Otherwise, it ain't damaging and it ain't going to grow. Here's the thing. Unaccustomed exercise has been shown to result in temporary repairable skeletal muscle damage. Yeah, we already know that. Untrained muscles, unfamiliar forms, unaccustomed, untrained muscles get this damage. Yeah. When you start with a brand new exercise, that always happens. You understand me? But if you want to keep getting it to damage, you're going to have to overwork that muscle. And overworking just means the same thing in eccentric overload, just eccentrics, and just overworking it with just a full range of motion, even adding more sets. Either you're adding more sets, or you're adding more weight, or adding more weight, or adding more sets. Either way, you're gonna have to do something different than you did before to bust through these plateaus, because eventually the growth will stop and you'll have to move from doing full range of motion, overworking that muscle with whatever eccentric exercise you have in that full range. You have to do eccentric overload now. And now that you're doing eccentric overload, the same thing there applies. If you just do the same thing over and over again, it's not going to work. So you're going to have to add more sets. You're going to have to work harder all the time. That's the point. You understand me? Because it's adapting. How does it adapt? By growing muscles. They're stronger now. They don't get injured so easy. And the ones that were injured, they've remodeled bigger and stronger. They're resistant from your weightlifting, your shitty exercises in the gym. Get it? So you have to make your shitty exercises into something dynamic, something super duper. And it's not based on being a lifting performance endurance slave in the gym. You get it, my friend? I hope that helped. I don't know what else to say there in that video, bro. But yeah, I think really this is hard for people to understand. They just can't visualize it. You need to visualize, bro. Visualize. See what I mean? Don't put yourself in the dark. So yeah, I don't know what else to say there. Anyways, you get the idea. I'll see you in the next one. Don't you think about that, like, subscribe, support the channel. I hope that helped, boo. See you later, man.